In the dim glow of a fading sunset, where the cracked asphalt of a forgotten roadside met the rumble of distant thunder, a small girl no older than 8 stood trembling beside her rusty red bicycle, its handlebars wrapped in frayed tape from countless joyful rides that now felt like echoes of a lost world. Her wide eyes, rimmed with the exhaustion of hunger and fear, locked onto the approaching roar of motorcycles, a gang of leather-clad bikers thundering down the highway like harbingers of chaos, their engines growling promises of intimidation to anyone who dared cross their path. But as they slowed to a halt, drawn by curiosity or fate, the girl's voice pierced the air like a fragile arrow, her words carrying the weight of desperation that no child should bear. She begged one of them to buy her bike, explaining in a whisper choked with tears that her mommy hadn't eaten in 2 days, and this was all she had left to offer. The lead biker, a towering man with scars etched into his weathered face like maps of battles long fought, felt something crack inside him, a rare vulnerability in a life built on steel and speed. As he knelt down to her level, the scent of oil and leather mingling with the girl's faint aroma of unwashed innocence, and in that moment, the story of loss and redemption began to unfold, pulling at the threads of hearts hardened by the road. If you believe in the power of kindness and the beauty of second chances, hit that like button right now, drop a comment sharing your thoughts, share this video with someone who needs a reminder of humanity's light, and don't forget to subscribe to Gentle Hearts for more stories that touch the soul and inspire change. Your support keeps these tales alive. The girl, whose name was Lily, clutched the bicycle's frame as if it were her last anchor to a happier time, her tiny fingers white-knuckled against the peeling paint that once sparkled under sunny park afternoons where laughter had been her constant companion. Her mother, Elena, lay frail and silent in their dilapidated trailer just off the highway, a makeshift home pieced together from salvaged metal and discarded dreams, where the walls whispered of better days before the storm of misfortune had stripped them bare. Elena's once vibrant eyes, now dulled by days without proper nourishment, stared blankly at the ceiling, her body a shadow of the woman who had worked tirelessly as a nurse, saving lives while her own unraveled thread by thread. The challenges had begun subtly, like cracks in a foundation ignored until the whole structure collapsed. First, the factory where Elena's husband worked shuttered without warning, plunging the family into debt that gnawed at their savings like a relentless beast. Then came the accident, a careless driver on a rain-slicked road that claimed her husband's life and left Elena with mounting medical bills, her grief a heavy cloak that slowed her every step. But the true devastation arrived in the form of a man named Victor Hargrove, a wealthy developer whose greed knew no bounds, who had eyed their modest plot of land with the hunger of a predator, using underhanded tactics to force them out, falsified documents, threats veiled as legal notices, and connections in high places that turned the law into his personal weapon. Lily, witnessing her mother's slow fade into despair, had taken it upon herself to act, sneaking out with her beloved bike, the one gift from her father that symbolized freedom and joy, now reduced to a bargaining chip for survival. As the bikers gathered around, their rough exteriors hiding stories of their own hardships, lost loves, betrayed trusts, roads that led nowhere, the lead biker, Jax, felt a surge of protectiveness he hadn't known since his own sister's tragic end years ago, prompting him to buy the bike not out of pity, but as a bridge to understanding the deeper wounds that had brought this child to the edge. The group, known as the Iron Wolves, a brotherhood forged in the fires of outlaw life but bound by an unspoken code of loyalty, decided on the spot to delve deeper, their curiosity morphing into a quiet resolve as Jax handed Lily a wad of cash far exceeding the bike's worth, his calloused hands gentle as he promised to return it someday, better than before. They followed her back to the trailer, the engine's low hum a stark contrast to the silence of poverty that enveloped the place, where empty cupboards mocked their hunger and leaky roofs stripped reminders of neglect. Elena, mustering what strength she had, shared her tale in hushed tones, her voice breaking like fragile glass as she recounted how Hargrove had orchestrated the eviction notices, bribed officials to ignore their pleas, and even sabotaged her job prospects by spreading rumors of instability, all to clear the land for his luxury condos that would erase families like hers from existence. The bikers listened, their faces etched with growing anger, for many among them had faced similar injustices, corporate giants devouring the little people, systems rigged against the vulnerable, and in Elena's eyes, they saw reflections of their own battles, igniting a fire that suspensefully built as they vowed to uncover the truth. Days turned into a tense pursuit, with Jax and his crew riding through shadowed back alleys and neon-lit cities, piecing together evidence like detectives in a gritty thriller, their motorcycles slicing through the night as they confronted shady informants who whispered of Hargrove's empire built on lies and exploitation. One by one, the pieces fell into place, forged signatures on deeds, hidden bank accounts funneling bribes, and a network of enablers who turned blind eyes for profit, each revelation heightening the emotional stakes as the bikers grappled with their own moral compasses, questioning if vengeance or justice was the path forward. As the investigation deepened, the struggles intensified for Lily and Elena, with Hargrove's influence casting longer shadows, anonymous calls threatening further harm, utilities mysteriously cut off, forcing them to huddle in candlelight where Lily's innocent questions about why bad things happen to good people pierced Elena's heart like daggers. Elena's health deteriorated, her body protesting the lack of sustenance with dizzy spells and fainting episodes, each one a harrowing scene that painted the raw vulnerability of a mother's love pushed to its limits, her whispers of reassurance to Lily belying the terror of what might come next. The bikers, meanwhile, faced their own trials, internal doubts from members who feared tangling with powerful foes, close calls with Hargrove's hired muscle that left bruises and broken bikes, and moments of introspection under starry skies where Jax confessed his fears of failing another innocent soul, his voice thick with emotion as memories of his sister's unsolved disappearance resurfaced, blending personal pain with the collective mission. Suspense mounted steadily, like a storm gathering force, as they infiltrated a gala where Hargrove schmoozed with elites, Jax posing as a waiter to overhear incriminating conversations that revealed the full extent of his schemes, not just Elena's family, but dozens others displaced for his gain, families shattered like fragile porcelain under the boot of ambition. The emotional depth grew with each vivid encounter. Lily's tear-streaked face as she clung to a stuffed bear, her only remaining toy, Elena's quiet resolve to fight on, drawing strength from her daughter's unwavering faith, and the bikers' transformation from detached wanderers to fierce guardians, their rough camaraderie evolving into a surrogate family bound by shared purpose. Change began to flicker like dawn's first light when the Iron Wolves, armed with irrefutable evidence, recorded confessions, pilfered documents, and witness testimonies coerced through sheer intimidation, confronted Hargrove in his opulent office, the contrast between his polished marble floors and their mud-caked boots a cinematic symbol of the clash between worlds. The tension peaked in a heart-pounding standoff, where Hargrove's smug facade cracked under the weight of exposure, his threats turning to pleas as the bikers laid out his downfall, not with violence, but with the promise of public ruin that would strip him of everything, mirroring the pain he inflicted. In a twist that tugged at the heartstrings, Jax revealed a personal connection. Hargrove's developments had indirectly led to his sister's fate, a hidden run covered up to protect construction timelines, forging an unbreakable bond of retribution and healing. With law enforcement finally involved, tipped off anonymously by the crew, the tides turned. Hargrove's arrest splashed across headlines, his empire crumbling like sandcastles against the wave of justice. For Elena and Lily, the resolution unfolded in waves of relief, restored property rights, financial restitution that allowed Elena to rebuild her life, starting with a proper meal that brought color back to her cheeks and laughter to their home. The bikers, true to their word, returned the bike refurbished and gleaming, a symbol of restored innocence, as they shared a quiet farewell under the same sunset where it all began, their hardened hearts softened by the purity of gratitude shining in Lily's eyes. As the dust settled and new beginnings bloomed, Elena finding work again, Lily returning to school with friends who marveled at her resilience, the story whispered a profound message of hope, that even in the darkest corners, kindness from unexpected sources could ignite change, leaving scars but also strength, inspiring all who witnessed it to believe in the ripple effects of compassion. The Iron Wolves rode on, forever changed, carrying the memory of a little girl who taught them vulnerability was not weakness, but the truest form of power, their engines fading into the horizon as symbols of guardians in a world too often unkind. If this story has touched your heart, stirred emotions you didn't expect, or reminded you of the unbreakable spirit within us all, please like, comment below with your favorite part, share it far and wide, and subscribe to Gentle Hearts. Your engagement means the world and helps spread more tales of humanity's gentle side. Before we wrap up, I have a special request. In the comments, share the line, "Kindness rides eternal," if this tale moved you to believe in second chances.